Hey guys, Thomas Jr. here, aka Mustached, and welcome back to some more Halloween movie reviews, and my attempt to do a monthly horror-based theme on my channel. So, I'm here to review The Legend of Halloween Jack. This movie starts with a big old explosion and it's on the news. And we learned of these individuals who are a part of a cult. And they were willing to do some sort of ritual to essentially make sure that they would live on past death, and they said that they would need a human sacrifice. So we cut to a cop named Hell, I believe that's his name, we cut to our ritual cult doing their ritual, and the cops arrive on the scene, and both take up to gun, and individuals are killed. All of the cult leaders are killed, and some of the cops are killed as well. But in the process, the cult leader kills himself, warning that this is just the beginning according to him. And we see shortly after a scarecrow, the one we see here, light up with its eyes. So we cut to a family who we follow. We have Lou, the husband. We have the husband, the wife, and the daughter. The daughter is Daniel, and they appear to have a secret that they are not willing to share with her quite yet. So, anyways, we cut to her wanting to chill with her friends. So she's chilling with her friends. We have Glad, this guy who's like just there. I didn't catch the others' names, unfortunately. We also learned that Daniel's father, or I'll just say Dan. I'll just say Daniel. Daniel's father is the mayor of this fine town. So he has banned Halloween because of this incident we saw at the beginning of the movie. We cut to some more crimes being investigated by the cops or the mayor, trying to pin down where these crimes are. Who are they done by, etc., etc. We cut to this man named Tanner, this one-eyed man, who still has quite a bit of accuracy as we see him practicing with gun. So Daniel wants to go with her friend Nancy. That's who it was. I did write it in my notes once, so there you go. But we have some more secrets as Daniel wants to go out to a party, so the mom's like, yeah, go do your party thing, I'll keep it a secret. But when we see her leave, we see the scarecrow arrive on the scene, and drop some distance closer to our people. So we cut to Hell, looking at this investigation of a hole that was made. So we cut back to the party where we see Tom, that's his name, and Glad, the gay vampire. And Tom is dressed as a Waldo, so I called him in my notes Waldo Tom. And Glad, the gay vampire. So there's your characters. And they're talking about it, that being Glad being gay and his preferences, because Waldo's like, oh, I'm into the ladies, oh, you're gay, would you be interested in me? And he's like, nah, I'm into the black guys, that's cool. And yeah, that goes on for a bit. But then Daniel and her friend Nancy are like, walking around and talking about, like, they're talking about dick pics for some reason. I don't know. We cut to a man in the shower, the dad specifically, and Crow again doing his thing, making his way. He drops a hair dryer into the tub just as he wakes up, and in the process, the wife Annie, the father was Lou, by the way, or father. I'll put that in quotes if you couldn't see that, but so she goes up to him, chokes her out, and yeah. So the party is deep underway, and we see Mr. Tanner listening to the radio, and then we see Waldo Tom flirting with some girl, but doing a terrible job at it. So he decides to go out for a smoke break, and that's when the Crow appears with the scythe in hand, and Waldo Tom is like talking to him, like about like him just standing there. In that process, obviously the Crow kills him. Sorry. We cut to our cop, Helen Briggs, checking the scene of the crime of the parents that died, and One-Eyed Tanner arrives on the scene, mentioning the past of Jack, the Scarecrow, and he's escorted out after a bit. We cut back to, I wrote Daniel's friend, what was her name? Nancy. Nancy, who's on the phone, but turns to see no one, and then that phone is shoved in her mouth, and that's how she's killed. Okay. So Helen Briggs are, like, considering that maybe this is more than meets the eye. It might be something far more afterlife, considering. Some more of that goes on. We cut to Tom, the gay vampire, and the Crow comes up behind him and slits his throat. So he's dead. And we see Jack Crow walk into the scene of the party, and the music suddenly stops, and everyone looks up at John Crow, and people start running. So John Crow's like killing some of the people in the party, and Daniel sees him and runs, and then Jack Crow gives chase. So the police, one of the policemen, Briggs, picks her up. He happened to get there, and he brings her over to hell, and they start arguing over what to do about, like, should we call for reinforcements or whatever. Cut to Tanner listening in, obviously. Not Tanner. We cut to these other two policemen that are there with them. This bearded guy and this bald guy, Mitch and some other guy, I don't know. If I didn't get everyone's name, I do apologize, but nonetheless, Crow appears with knife in hand, getting it. And the lights go out at this point, and the bald guy is attacked, and so is the bearded guy. They're both killed pretty quickly from their intros. So Briggs grabs a fire extinguisher and tries to attack Crow, and then is stabbed in the process, so he's dead. So now it is down to just Hell and Daniel. And he starts grabbing his gun and shooting, or waiting with his gun, waiting at the door. And as soon as Jack Crow enters, he fires. So, Hell tries to check the body and then is grabbed and stabbed before he can unmask the Jack Crow. So he's killed. Tanner shoots the Crow arriving on the scene, and then Daniel goes with him. So Tanner goes on a bit of a tangent explaining the past of this whole Celtic Druid thing, and furthermore that apparently Daniel is actually related to Jack Crow, the guy we've been seeing killing all these people. Oops. So she is the only one who apparently can put an end to him, according to Tanner anyway. So he brings out an arsenal of weapons, and she gears up, and he's there because he wants to afflict vengeance too, that being Tanner. So the door gets knocked out, and then the two of them try to fire on ahead. So Tanner has Daniel go on ahead, and Crow gets up after a bit, and like a silly man, Tanner decides to go all physical even though he still has a gun with bullets. And Crow finishes the job with an axe. So Daniel then waits for Jack Crow to arrive on her scene, and she goes on to talk about him like her dad, because he is. But then she also has a knife behind her, and then knifes him, and then kind of flees a little bit. And from out of nowhere, she has a bomb! I don't know how she accessed a bomb, but she has bomb. And she blows up the entire building. And we cut back to another news thing, where we hear the phrase, "There was no body found at the scene of that crime." Womp, womp, womp. And that was The Legend of Halloween Jack. Pretty generic horror film. A little bit interesting, I suppose, to try to go for a more Celtic-like backstory for the character. I mean, the exposition was a little bit on the long side, and it did probably come at a bad time. I felt like after the fact of everyone dying, and then you're kind of etching your way to the end, and you're suddenly just gonna have a sit and talk. It does feel a little bit out of order. The other issue, of course, I have with this is that the characters aren't well established. I can't tell you what Daniel's personality is. All I know is she wants to go to a party. That's about it, really. I don't know what her character is. I don't know what she wants. Same thing for every other character. The only, I could say, this character wants this one thing, perhaps, the Waldo Tom guy, he wants to get laid at the party. That's about all I know about the character. You have the gay vampire whose quirk is he's gay, and that's about the only thing you know about that character. And what his preference is. That's about the extent of that. You have Daniel's friend, Nancy, whose personality is the phones? Question mark? I don't know. So this movie doesn't set a lot of time to get to know our characters. They're just there for death fodder, and I always feel like that's a shame, because I know it can be better. I know it's been done better before, so I'm gonna have to go on the lower end of the spectrum of my grades here. A little bit disappointed. I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Yeah, I think if they had developed their characters, I think the backstory, again, could have been placed somewhere else. Probably a little bit closer to the beginning. It probably actually even make even more sense for all of the characters to hear that. I know it's a little bit of a cliche of ooh, the horror stories. But that does seem like that would just make more sense in terms of where to put it in a movie. If you are going to have a backstory exposition part, it would make a little bit more, again, just a little bit more sense to have it closer to the beginning than things are happening and you're deciding to slow the movie down. It's a little bit awkward. So yeah, that's my review of The Legend of Halloween Jack, and if you enjoyed this review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also make sure to check out those links in the description, one head over to my Discord server, the other to my Patreon page. Any donations are greatly appreciated. Until next time, everyone, bye bye!